Welcome to CSC Movie Recaps. Today I'll be reviewing the 2010 Indian crime drama Baadmash Company. The major characters of the film, who have recently graduated from college and are all ecstatic about their newfound independence, are introduced in the opening scenes of the film in 1994 Bombay. Three pals make up the group: Karan, our main heroine; Chandu, a silly guy who is constantly trying his luck with attractive women; and Singh, a Sikamesh army brat. The pals discuss how they are being given a free ticket to Bangkok. It turns out that they are serving as transporters for Archie, a smuggler. He offers them large sums of money to tuck away in their boots. In Karan's instance, he tucked it in his pants. They also meet a female who is a member of Archie's team on the plane. Bulbul is her name. Once in Bangkok, they have a great time partying, shopping, and trying new things. Karan and Bulbul have coffee together on the last day, and Karan mentions that he wants to start a large company but that his father wants him to work for someone else. Bulbul, a recent MBA graduate, tells him she wants to be a top model and exhorts him to follow his aspirations. Karan responds that he needs a lot of money for that, which he doesn't have, and she tells him all he needs is a solid idea for a successful business, not money. He tells his father that he does not want a 9-to-5, 6 days a week work during their quarrel at home. In order to avoid interfering, his father instructs Karan to do anything he pleases. In the interim, Karan has also begun dating Bulbul. As he returns home one day, he discovers that his father has suffered a heart attack. Karan's mother must sell her jewels to finance the costs that her insurance does not cover, such as an aircon room. Karan is in great discomfort at the hospital as a result of all of this, so he visits Archie to arrange some further excursions to earn extra money. Singh was trying on shoes at the store below while Karan spoke with Archie. Singh is upset because stores only show 1 foot of a pair of shoes since she likes them. Archie laughs and explains that this is done to prevent the shoes from being stolen. He claims that if there were only 1 pair of shoes, they would have no worth. When Karan, who has been listening to this conversation, asks Archie how much duty there is on shoes, Archie responds, 120%. When they meet, he shares his concept with her but she violently rejects it and tells him she won't allow him to do it. Karan calls Bulbul and reminds her of what she had told him in Bangkok, that the biggest businesses become big by an idea, not money. Either the men offer her a 5-year contract and the boss wants her to meet him, or he leaves her off at a hotel where she is meeting with some people for her modeling. Later that night, an enraged Bulbul stabs him in the leg with a pair of scissors she usually keeps on her person for protection and rushes out, agreeing with Karan and telling him she's down with his plan. Karan enlists Chandu and Singh as well before approaching his wealthy American uncle for a loan to fund an investment in his company. His uncle gives him some money, and the group travels to Bangkok to negotiate a deal with Reebok. During an awkward and racially charged encounter with the company's agent, Karan and his pals are able to acquire a supply of shoes that will be delivered in 3 weeks. Karan and Bulbul travel to Madras to accept the payment and complete the paperwork for customs when the shipment is delivered. To appear wealthy, Karan dons his father's coat and glasses. When they arrive, they open a box, and Bulbul wants to put on the shoes but discovers that both are for the left foot. Karan attempts to open every other box, but the same thing occurs. The left foot is present in each of the 1,000 pairs of shoes in this shipment. Enraged, he dials Singh instead of pretending to call the office in Bangkok. He and Bulbul then leave the warehouse without completing any paperwork. This was all part of their strategy. They had delivered the shipment in this manner on purpose so that the product's value would be 0 and they wouldn't be required to pay any customs duties. When the goods go up for auction a month from now, they can purchase them for a very low price while acting like they are in the scrap business. Following that, we are treated to a humorous montage showing everyone donning disguises on the day of the auction and successfully bringing down Archie by purchasing the imported shoes. He presents them with a check after being impressed by their haul. The group decides to go formal and form its own business, which they will call Friends and Company. Before one night when Karan's father finds Karan storing money in his cabinet, everything is going swimmingly. Once Karen tells him everything, they have a heated quarrel. Karen insists he is doing properly and departs the house, but not before his father counsels him to use his sharp mind if he wants good in life in addition to happiness. Karen asserts that he is correct, but his father does not recognize it because he has moved in with his girlfriend. Friends and colleagues carry on with the same fraud until there is a slight glitch when a commission agent recognizes Karen. Karen then brings him back to his office and offers him a 4% deal in profits, and the problem is then resolved. Another montage shows their ongoing antics as their business becomes well known across the nation, up until the day the Indian government declares that they are dropping the customs tax from 120% to 20%. The gang is furious but powerless since they know that since their business revolves around evading customs, it would have to close down in the absence of a significant duty tax. Karen, however, has different ideas. He and his companions journey to America, which is bigger and better than Bangkok. Once more, Karen asks his uncle Jazz for assistance, and he arranges for them to live in a rented flat. Karen wants to replicate his trick in the United States, so he contacts his uncle for a list of importers of leather gloves. Karen and Bulbul approach Charlie, get him into their plan, and Charlie falls for it, paying full price for only the right hands of his pair of gloves. Karen and Bulbul abruptly vanish, and Zing buys the right hands of the gloves from Charlie for scrap before Chondu comes to see Charlie to sell him 100,000 pairs of gloves. Charlie is hesitant to buy since he claims he no longer has faith in Indians, but Chondu gives him every assurance imaginable. They make their first profit in America of $1 million by selling the gloves to poor Charlie. They choose to party in New York, and we observe the beginnings of internal strife. When Karen tries to discourage Bulbul from gambling excessively, he lashes out at her. Zing has too much to drink and almost assaults a man before security ejects him. Chondu begs Karen for assistance with Zing, but Karen reminds him that he is in charge and that Chondu must obey him. Uncle Jazz contacts Karen and informs her that the police have been hunting for Karen and that a new strategy is required. Karen informs them that they will instead purchase a home for $100,000 by obtaining a loan from the bank. A friend will then sell the home to a different buddy, who will also need to obtain a loan from the bank. Repeating the cycle, one of them will declare bankruptcy, the house will be taken, but the true value of the house is still $100,000. This is because the property of someone who cannot repay the bank's loan is to be seized by the bank. However, the group would make $200,000 from their criminal activities. But, things start to go wrong very quickly. Remember the seeds of discontent we discussed earlier? Well, Zing's drinking problem spirals out of control, and he violently attacks his girlfriend as a result. The firm then sits down to hash it out, but Zing and Karen get into a fight during which Karen exhibits his greed and arrogance, causing Zing to leave the company. Chondu deals him a few blows for this. Soon after, Bulbul learns that Karen had wed secretly in court in order to obtain his green card. He makes an attempt to persuade her that all he was doing was for their future and that this doesn't change anything, but she insists that all she wants is the old Karen back. Bulbul chooses to leave him after hearing him remark that Karen has left. Chondu informs Karen that he and Linda have decided to move in together as the icing on the cake and that he has had it with the con. Chondu Chandra is angry with Karen because she feels betrayed, and Chondu Chandra tells him that he owes his pals everything as well because without them he couldn't have pulled off the scams. They will continue to be friends, he says. Now distraught and alone, Karen travels to India to meet his relatives covertly. He goes to the event where his father is honored for 25 years of service. In his speech, his father talks about respect, and Karen understands how mistaken he has been. After telling Uncle Jazz everything when he returns to America, he is quickly taken into custody for his crimes. When Bulbul shows up and forfeits Zing's, Chondu's, and her own portion of the wealth, he can convert his criminal case into a civil one by paying 70% of what he gained. 6 months later, he is freed from prison and begins doing menial labor for his uncle for little pay. As Bulbul returns, she tells him that she never gave up on him and is happy that he has learned from his mistakes. She is also carrying his baby. The two lovers make up. When Karen learns at Uncle Jazz's workplace that his uncle's entire shipment of Madras imported shirts has been rejected because the color spills after washing, the news spreads to the stock market and causes Jazz Company's shares to drop by 30%. Karen recognizes a chance and comes up with yet another fantastic concept. Karen reconciles with Singh and Chandu to launch a brand new business. This time, he deceives Jazz's customers into thinking his business sells a novel type of shirt that, when washing, changes color. Implying that every time a common man washes a shirt, a new one is obtained. The purchasers place a trial order for 5,000 units, and the public is enthralled by this novel shirt, especially since Linda played a part in the scheme by forcing Michael Jackson, a dancer, to wear it. Karen receives another order as a result, this time for a larger quantity of shirts. As people buy into the buzz and purchase the shirts at an overwhelmingly high rate, recovering his Uncle Jazz's loss, the shares of Jazz Incorporated soar. Jazz, Pals, and Company are now partners together with Karen, Singh, Chandu, and Bowl, but the business is now a public limited corporation. After learning his lesson, Karen makes peace with his father. Paul is presently doing great. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel.